YouTube, it's Maddie the Emptiness Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by. If it's your first time, I hope you enjoy the video and consider subscribing at the end if you did. If you are a subscriber already, I really appreciate you coming back, and I also hope you enjoy this video. So this is a video I'm doing in response to a subscriber request, and that is a little bit more of a deep dive into my inventory binders. I have several binders in front of me, and they each hold a different kind of inventory. This one, the solid color one, does not hold inventory for anything that produces color. So it is stencils, it is embossing folders, punches, and die cuts. So those are things that you can make any color you want, but you still carry an inventory and need to know what you have. This one is my stamp binder. I got it at Dollar Tree. The first solid blue binder was a Dollar Tree item as well. The small one seems to be sufficient. However, this larger one is not holding up well, and if you are going to have a substantial larger binder, I do not recommend Dollar Tree for that. I will be replacing this binder. And in this binder, I have examples of all of my stamps. And again, that will be a video for another day. These two binders are my color binders. When I first started working on inventory and creating binders, this was the first binder I had. And it was my thinking that I could fit all of my inventory into this one binder. Oh, how wrong I was. So we are not going to go through both of these today, but focus more on just one. And I'm going to do a brief flip through of this one and then focus on the ink section, because one of the subscribers ran into an issue that I ran into exactly. And she said that she had been swatching out her inks by company, which I had done as well, and found out that it would probably be more useful to swatch out her inks and organize them according to color. And that is absolutely true for me as well. And so I have this binder, which is all of my inks swatched out according to color, and you'll get a little tour of that as well. So I'll put it aside for the moment, and we will come back to it. So this is, as I said, one of my color binders, and I actually had the two binders are split up from the original one because there was just way too much in one. So I only have 3 categories here, but it's a manageable binder, and I think I have 4 categories in the other. I do have some space in this one if I decide I need another category, and I just keep this empty right here. So pardon me. In this binder, I have pigment powders, sprays, ink, embossing, Nouveau drops, and perfect pearls. And you can see these are all labeled. I use my label maker. I'm not all too thrilled with my handwriting. However, you can feel free to write them out. It certainly is not going to affect how your binder is useful to you. So it's a crafter's preference. That's just what I am most comfortable with. So going through these, you will see how I put them together. So for most of my, or as many as I can, I will go to a website. Ranger has a website that has downloads for you. So I printed out the downloads for the alcohol inks and put swatches of the colors that I currently have. Luckily, I do not have full set syndrome. Some of my inventory is full set. Some of them are scattered about, as you see here. I am not going to get a full set of Ranger alcohol inks. I'm happy with what I have. I may add a couple more if I see fit, or use some colors more than other, but I don't need to have all 60 Ranger alcohol inks, or I think they have 60. I do not know. I do have the Pinata alcohol inks, and you can see they are swatched out here. I have some Dilutions sprays, and I have some of them swatched. I have them all swatched here, and I am not going to collect every single one. Next up, I have some Tattered Angels spray. Remember that from way back in the day? I still have them. I still use them from time to time. It's a little bit of a different look, and I enjoy them when I remember. And you know, one of the things that helps me remember what I have is when I'm looking through my inventory binder. Last page here is the Canna Oliver Color Burst. I do have a swatch with me video if you're interested in seeing how I put that together. This page, a few pages that look like this, are pages that I created on Word on my computer because I could not find the proprietary swatch available, but you can do it however you see fit. I'm going to skip the ink because that's the one I'm going to focus on more, and go right to the last category of the three. These are my Nuvo drops. I did take that off the website. This one, the embossing powders by Rangers that I own, I printed that one out myself. These are all of these that look like this, I printed out myself. I have some Wow embossing, and then I move on to some Perfect Pearls. I am not going to collect the entire set of either of these, that is for sure. And that's it. It's a pretty small category. And I'm going to move back to the inks, which I am embarrassed to say how many I have of those. So, first up is my VersaFine Clair inks. They are the only pigment inks that I own, and I am planning to collect them all because there aren't a whole bunch of them. Next up, I have the Distress Oxides. I'm happy with the selection that I have, and in addition, I have quite a few mini pads of Catherine Pooler. And these, as you can see, were provided by the website. I think they have newer ones because Catherine Pooler came out with newer inks, and I don't have them all yet. Memento, I have a full set. It is not a whole lot of inks. I just was able to buy 3 12 packs and I was done. Those are the very first inks I ever bought, and I am pretty pleased with them. And last but not least, just a few specialty Memento inks, Brilliance and Versa Magic. These are not inks I go to a whole lot, but if I need a silver or gold, I do try to utilize them if it fits into my project. Last but not least, my archival inks. I have the Wendy Vecchi collection. I do have the whole collection. Again, it is a small collection, but these inks are waterproof, and I generally use them if I need that particular color, or if I'm using it in my art journaling because they are waterproof. Okay, so when you have your inks organized like that, and you're looking for a particular color, not useful. So this is what I did to stamp out my inks in a way where I could see every color that I have next to each other, and then look at it in a project. So when you look through this, you can see that I do have quite a few inks. These are the browns, these are the reds, and I do have each one labeled, if you can see that, which ink they are. So that's how I know where I can find them. But side by side is really the only way to figure out if this is the best color in my collection to work with a particular project. So here are some pinks, and these are more oranges. Yellow seems to be a lighter category for me, but I do have a ridiculous amount of inks. And when you buy ink in a collection, they seem to be very green heavy. Green is not my favorite color. However, you would not know that. This is a more turquoisey coming up. And here comes blue. And then more blue. Purples and lavender. And then here are the specialty Brilliance inks. So this is a method that I learned on Jennifer McGuire's channel. She is the queen of organization. You could see I was also in the middle of working on this book because there were empty pockets. And the reason I am switching that around and making sure that I have empty pockets is because when you buy new ink pads, you don't want to shuffle around every single swatch to make space for it. So I am trying to move things around a bit and make sure I have spaces for the ink pads that I am planning to add to my collection. And I will say that this collection is probably way more ink than anybody needs. I am only planning to continue to collect the pigment inks, which are the VersaFine Clair. I don't need any more dye inks, and I am hoping that I'll be able to stick to that. So some of you who may be collectors of ink as I am know that some inks you use for techniques such as the oxides. Some I use particularly for my journaling because they are waterproof. I have some inks that I really like for blending or if I need to do solid stamping. And I sort of think I fell into a trap of wanting different kinds of inks that were perfect for different kinds of things. And I probably would have been fine if I just stuck with a basic few. But I'm settled on what I have. I'm going to complete the last small collection of pigment ink because they really do the finest stamping, and focus on re-inkers so I can stick with this collection. I hope this was helpful to you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And above all, stay safe. Bye-bye, YouTube.